Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm here at Apex 2020 and I'm joined by Marc from iNEMI. Marc, thanks for joining me. Always a pleasure to chat. And this has become a tradition every anniversary of your
my role.
Your role. We get to talk and see.
At least we didn't say my retirement.
Well, no, not as yet. Not unless you know something I don't.
No, technically this was my retirement. This job.
There you go. Well, I bet it's nothing like retirement. I can
You're
be sure of that.
right.
Obviously, digital manufacturing is a big deal here. I sometimes liken smart factory to smart city, and when I'm at shows like CES, 5G is seen as this huge enabler for smart city and pushing that trend and really moving things forward. What are you seeing in smart factory with respect to that, and how does 5G and Wi-Fi 6, how does that all play into that area?
First of all, it's an excellent point, because the concept of smart factory, smart manufacturing, and every other flavor of language we use is all about leveraging the digitization of information that we have today. And then, you extend that word digitization, whether it's wirelessly connected or wired connected. Obviously gets involved. And then the concept of digitization is, how do we collect data? We collect a lot of data now. We have the ability through 5G and IoT and sensors to sense almost, it's probably a sensor under our seat, to sense almost anything. And we collect, the industry collects a lot of data. Next step is use that data. And use it with the capabilities we have today. Use it with the analysis or analytical capabilities, whether it be, and everyone's heard machine learning and AI, but that's a function. But what does it allow you to do? It allows you to do predictive analytics. It's allow you to know something's happening before it actually happens. So one of the items, we had you know what, you're here for 3 or 4 days, you forget the day before. Yeah. Today's Thursday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday morning, we had a meeting here of our Smart Manufacturing TIG, Technology Integration Group, which is like-minded souls that get together and decide, where do we see the needs, where do we see the gaps, what are our wants, and so forth. One of the items that's coming up is closed-loop inspection.
Right.
Yeah, and moving from taking the good inspection capabilities we have today and reactively doing something to preemptively doing something. Yeah. And the teams are scoping up. How do we do that? And all the pieces are there. Yeah. But and especially all the pieces are there if you're a one-stop shop, you're homogeneous and everyone's same person. Yeah. And there's a lot of work, and we've seen the stuff on CFX. There's also the semi folks have a display, and we're showing interconnections, and some of them homogeneous, some of them heterogeneous, and that's great, and all that does work. But now you lay another level of interconnect and information exchange on top of it. So what the teams are thinking is let's lay this out. Let's lay out, block out the processes, and both the information flow and the capabilities we need, check mark, red mark, and things like that. And that will be a fantastic example on how we move forward, because it'll identify what's there and what's not there and where we need to do further work.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting. And what you say about, CFX, and I think SEMI have is it the ELS standard, and there's the Hermes line over there. So there are several interconnectivity standards, and for me that's the digital building blocks, and then these closed loop applications can kind of sit on top of that, and then we build actionable intelligence. When I talk to EMS companies and OEMs, what they're looking for is where this all ends up in terms of what some refer to as the digital dividend. What are we going to get from this? How are we going to achieve value? And what's my roadmap to get to that?
And that key word you said was value. It's us as technical people, engineers, we'd like to know the stuff at the bottom. But I won't use my New York crude mouth, but you get to the top, it doesn't matter. I just want us to be able to I want my operational efficiency to improve by X, Y%. Yeah. I want, my unscheduled downtime to go to 0. Yeah. That's what I want. I want the number of turns in my factory to be X or Y. That's what they can. It's I like it. It's the value.
It's the digital dividend, it's KPIs, it's being able to understand where you get to that. So once you bring all these people together, what's iNEMI's role in developing that roadmap and making sure that those dividends can be shared properly by the industry?
So the role we play is, as you say, bringing the membership together, and if the membership is not representative of the diversity of the players, we work together. Part of me is walking around here, sharing the gospel of, it's a project, you could benefit. But also our members each have partners in the food chain, and working with them to say, hey, do you want to participate and the like. So right now we're at the stage of this is a good example of any project, of trying to pull together a half a dozen or so to help scope it out, to get enough that it's enough material we can share more broadly. And then once we get to that point, we do a formal call for participation to the industry at large to participate. And then depending on the output of the project, it could feed back into, and we've had partnerships with IPC and SEMI as appropriate feedback to them in terms of if there needs to be a tweak in a standard, we go back to them. If it needs to be a development of a capability that could be done collaboratively, we'll do it in another project. Or in many cases, what it'll spawn, some of this is going to be black box. The digital dividend is, one aspect of the digital dividend is the factory will be more efficient. That's, what those folks see. But there's opportunities for businesses to add value in here, and we want to make sure that they don't make money all doing the same thing. We both know that. They've got to be individual. So, we got to be respectful to the fact that there's IP involved in here. So some of this will be black box, and we'll have to define the I/O, the API that they need to adhere to. So, we're hoping we incent that, and that happens.
Yeah, and it sounds like a big part of your job is network and recruiting, getting people involved in these projects. Is that a big chunk of what you do as CEO?
I'm learning. So you're right. We've met 2 years in a row. This starts my third year. The answer is yes. It really is connecting for many of the individuals I connected to in my old role of working in Bell Labs and having partnerships, but now in a new role, bringing them back together. I had a discussion with someone earlier, and I came from the old AT&T days where we were vertically integrated. Excuse me. We were vertically oriented also. And it was fantastic being able to have everyone in the food chain at your fingertips. In many cases, in office next door or, not too far away. And the relationships were tight. When we started selling off our factories, going to outsource model, we built those strong relationships with our partners and stuff like that. What we've done in iNEMI, I think, is in our own selfish sense, we created that vertical aspect of it. So, that's the role, is to create that. I think I used it once before, so it's kind of corny. And I don't know, the virtual vertical, because we do have to work together and being able to hear each other's needs, because every solution we have today depends on someone else.
And it has to be connected, and you're right about that virtual vertical integration. That's all part of what you're doing in terms of creating collaborations across the value chain and across different associations. Marc, always a pleasure to chat. Good luck with year 3. Keep me posted, and we'll chat again this time next year.
Okay, save my seat.
Thank you.